Coach McMacken, Mike, spent a lot of time coaching defenses with Dennis Erickson, Miami and San Francisco. Can you see in game tape the similarities to Dennis teams in his philosophy now?
You know, I think that structurally they are not the same. Everybody plays coverages that are going to be similar to somebody else. I mean, they're going to play a quarters coverage that Arizona State still plays today, but that's just part of their deal. They have a mixture of things they do besides that. And, you know, it all falls into categories. And their mixture is they do a nice job of mixing in some zone coverages with some zone pressures. I think that's probably the two main things, and their zone blitzes are different. You know, they're not always going to be the same. And then there'll be some all-out blitzes where you've got to account for them. They'll try to overload you and have a guy free, and you got to get rid of the ball.
We talked yesterday about the excessive celebration rule situation, what happened in Seattle, and the fact that you discussed that with your team. What'd you tell your guys? Well,
I said that no matter what we think about the rule and what people are saying about it and whatever, this is what it is, and this is what's going to be called, so it's never worth it. I mean, you know, the best thing to do with the ball to be safe is to give it back to the referee. And we, as we were talking yesterday, I think the major issue is the ball. I mean, you know, I suppose orchestrated dancing and group celebrations are pretty easy to see, but what you do with the football appears to be a major factor.
Did you ever get to see that, the video of that?
I did.
And what was your reaction to that?
Oh, I thought he was happy.
One more thing for me, game planning. Are you the kind of coach who will set up 10 to 15 plays and stick with it no matter what at the beginning of a game, or do you like that kind of stuff?
No, not necessarily. Situationally, yes. You know, we will have some things that we want to do on first and second down, something that we want to run early in the game, you know, and not save it too long, maybe a reverse or something like that we want to get going. And then we'll have some things in order third down wise, you know, so we'll have categories of what we'd like to do in the first part of the game, you know, whether this is the first 3rd and 3 and the first 3rd and 9, and this will be the first down, this will be the second first down, you know, things like that, but not as far as a scripted out 15-play deal. It's really hard to do that not knowing what the situation might be in the game. So you might get the ball for the first time on the -1, and what you had in mind might not be a very good idea, or you might get the ball in the +20 and you have a chance to do something now in the red zone with the ball. So, you know, I think you always have to be ready to adjust, and so those things are all categorized that, you know, okay, now if we get the ball in the -1, this is what we're going to do. If we get the ball in the 20 on the first play, this we'd like to try this. That's kind of how we do it.
Coach, how would you grade out right now the return game, kickoffs and punts, and how would that improve from where it stands right now?
Well, I think that you know, it's average at best right now, and I think that we've had some opportunities and some good-looking returns, not necessarily in the last game, but you know, as you look on film at returns, it's kind of interesting because you can always say, "Whoa, if we would have gotten that block, you know, it looked good." And there were some good setups, and that's the way they usually are. You know, it can be a matter of one body position on a guy.
Mike, could you talk about Roberson's emergence and maybe the skills he brings, and will he spell Christic and Pankey a little to get more playing time in the game? Or?
You know, I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but we all concurred after watching the tape, Paul, that he should get more repetitions in the game. And now as we go through the week, we'll figure out how that rotation is involved. It's interesting because you guys and all of us, you know, it was pretty easy to note that Dwight Roberson showed up to play and made some, you know, physical plays. And as I told him, he played an audible game. You could hear him playing out there, and that's pretty neat.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to wrap back around to the O-line one time and ask for how Marcus Henderson's doing. Is he back to full strength, still gaining strength?
You know, Marcus Henderson and Mitchell Hunt both had an illness that took them out for a long time, and they are both doing well. Now, full strength is you probably couldn't say that yet because they miss so much time. And but his spirits are good, work is good. I think that it's just a matter of time before he's probably, fully recovered and not only from his illness, but back to the condition he needs to be in. Mm-hmm.
Mike, back to the scheduling for a moment. I wasn't speaking specifically about would you play Penn State again. I guess I wonder, would you make sure if you do take a game like that it doesn't stack up back-to-back road games to open a season? Is that something you might look to stay away from in the future?
I think that is a factor. I guess somebody told me we were the only school to do that in a BCS. Yeah, so, and I like it really would be a cop out for me to complain about that. And we had every opportunity to beat Stanford, and I'd really like this team to learn that playing on the road, they have lines and goalposts just like we do, and we should be able to play just as good a football. And regardless, that's why the environment deal and dealing with the environment, I think, is a really good lesson for our kids, so that they just play regardless of circumstances. And I like putting us in those situations. I think that a lot of this is brokered obviously by TV. So I know that this thing came about because of the TV deal, and I make no bones about it. Is it the ideal? In the future, would you like to at least split the first 2 games home and away? Sure, but we knew going in, and so we don't have any complaints about it.